So BTC is now trying to hold the 63K level. Yesterday, we noticed that it rejected off trend when Israel started firing missiles or whatever the story was. That was the move that started sending us lower. Now, there's big questions now. Is this the beginning of a major move down? What are we going to do? What is the plan? Where does this thing bounce? What are we in for the next couple of months? Well, guys, it might be Mackie D's could be coming your way. So I'm going to give you a chart. I'm going to tell you why I'm thinking we're going to hit some lower levels. And I'm going to tell you how to plan this and how we're going to go about this. Then I've obviously got some altcoins to talk to you guys about. I've got a nice long setup on Meta, believe it or not. I've got a couple of long setups brewing on some of these other alts. So we got a lot to talk about today. Let's get right into this. The red day. So yesterday we had that big rejection, and we were feeling on top of our game early yesterday when the markets were pumping, things were green, and then we got this monster rejection with a bit of war news, and now they've continued today. We've had weak GDP numbers. What does that mean? The market's unsure at the moment, so we're going to look at some of that too. But Banter Bubbles is a complete mess at the moment. It's just red everywhere, and it was looking a bit worse earlier today. So you seeing the back end of a bit of a meltdown here, and you can see my gummy ticker is just firing away. I'm busy farming gummies here at the top. Don't forget, if you have Banter Bubbles, you can sign up there and start farming for your gummy airdrop. So don't forget that is available to you. So what am I looking at now? Well, we've seen a couple of altcoins hit some interesting levels, even though we've been dipping lower. So I'm going to take a look at the bigger picture with you guys today. That's really going to be my main focus, and then a couple of bigger picture views on some of these altcoins. But it doesn't mean there aren't scalps available and things like that if we are going to be chopping down. So let's just look at BTC quickly, and just to get a recap of where we are right now and what these guys are currently trying to do to us here. So we actually dropped into an interesting zone. We lost our 382 yesterday. You'll remember we had a 382 fib in this region, and we were starting to dance around that area, and they started bleeding us lower and lower and lower, and they've pushed us into a little liquidity zone here at the 63K level. So this is now a big area of interest for today. You can see we've had a nice little reaction at the moment. Now, after that GDP news, the market reacted. The S&P started falling over. Everyone started panicking, and they gave us one more push, maybe a little stop hunt in the zone. And now they are starting to fire BTC up again. So we're going to be watching this one very closely today. Now, for me, how am I playing this? Well, it's quite, it's quite simple, really. I'm trying to watch a little trend at the moment. So we can't get too excited until we start breaking trends, whether they're mini trends or bigger trends in the longer term. So on the short term, we're going to just look and see if we get a little trend break off this area on BTC. So my marker at the moment, 63K. Let's watch that level, and let's not forget how much Bitcoin loves a 618. So when you see a Bitcoin, when you see a 618 a little bit lower down for Bitcoin, you've got to keep that on your charts, because we know time and time again they love to come visit that, and often at a surprising time, or when you think you're out of the woods and you got a green candle, they come and send you back one more time to ping that 618. So make sure the 618 level is on your charts at 62,500. That's a big one. And then we've got another hot zone. So this is another nice one for you to mark on for today, 61,200. So these are big levels that you can pay attention to today if you are trading today, and that's what you want to pay attention to. Then higher up, what do I have? I've got a horizontal and a trend. So if I do move a little bit higher up today, we're going to be very cautious up here at 65,700. 65,700, I'm going to show you bigger picture just now why I'm going to say it's important that we take profits in that area. But 65,700, that's a zone you're going to be watching now. If things turn green, we don't want to get overly excited once we get to that zone. We don't want to be longing the top. We don't want to be longing into resistance. We need to be very cautious in that area. So pay attention to what is going on over there. Okay, fear and greed index. I thought this was important to look at again, because nobody is scared. We're at 72% greed at the moment, and it's, I'm just not feeling that the market is scared enough at this point in time. Ray, aren't you afraid?
I'm not feeling the likes, man. We don't even have 100.
Guys, if you like the content, hit the like button, subscribe to Banter Plus, hit the bell button, and, just get involved. Make sure the notifications are on, and make Uncle Ray happy, because he's not going to put on those AI goggles until he's happy. And, we don't want him to be upset. Okay, fear and greed index. This is important. We need to understand where the sentiment is at the moment, and everybody's so super bullish the whole time. And we're at 72. I would have thought after this move now in the last couple of days and this big rejection, we would have had a little bit of more fear in the markets, but apparently it's not happening. And then here is our poll that I'm running at the moment. I just wanted to see what you guys were thinking, and this is what we're looking for, Ray. This is what we love. We've got a very balanced view here on this poll. I said, okay, are we going down? Some of you want 60 or below, and the rest are saying we're going higher. So finally, we got a nice mix here. We got a nice balance in the market. I would say it's been a little bit overly weighted in the last couple of weeks with too many bull vibes. And we can see they're pushing out information all day long, metrics and all these things showing us bull, bull, bull. But for some reason, this market keeps dipping lower. And I'm going to tell you just now why I think that is a plan that is happening on purpose. I'm going to get to that just now. Okay, so if you were wondering yesterday what happened, they fired some missiles yesterday. The market rejected. Perfect timing, wasn't it? And that's just one of those things. You can always find a reason for a pump or for a rejection. If you look for it, you'll always find some kind of catalyst for a specific move. And this was interesting to me. So BlackRock's spot Bitcoin ETF registered its first day of zero inflows in 71 trading days. So things are potentially slowing down a little bit there on that front. Okay, what did I find interesting yesterday? Now, remember, we said this week was going to be a massive week for us in crypto. We were expecting a green week earlier, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. We were expecting a bit of green, and we did get a little bit. Give us that. We did get a little bit of green, but the results were very important on the S&P. And we had Meta, we had Tesla. I think we've got Microsoft tonight. We've got Google as well coming out. So this is a massive week for us. But this 𝗘𝗫𝗖𝗍 letter tweet is just so amazing that it shows how uncertain people are at the moment with what is going on. And I just love this. Meta earnings yesterday, that's Facebook. They beat expectations, okay? They smashed their expectations. What did the stock do? It dumped. At one point, it was 15% down, at some point. Then Tesla, it misses earnings expectations. They actually underperformed. What happens to the stock? It pumps up 10%. And, follow this tweet. You can see what's going on. But they're saying nothing adds up here. So if you're feeling confused, you're absolutely not alone. There's so much information going out there. And, traditionally, you'd follow a certain subset of metrics that, help you determine where the market is going. And right now, it's just very, very confusing out there. And this was cool. So I thought, let's look at Meta after this little dump yesterday. So for the stock traders out there, if you're trading crypto, you're trading stock, I just thought this was too good not to look at here. This is Meta, Facebook, on the weekly charts. And I'm just absolutely loving the way this chart is teeing up here potentially for a nice little long move for us. So what we've got here is you can see they've dumped this thing onto a 382. They've tried to recover it at the moment, but we've got such a juicy little area here for Meta. So if you are trading stocks or you're interested in trading stocks and you have access to that type of thing, there is a juicy zone here we can't ignore for Facebook at 372. Watch this level here. This should be a nice little bounce zone. Now, what does that look like? How do we get there? Well, you might see something along these lines. We could see a little bit of chop, but I'm loving the look of something in this region there. And it's the 200-day MA. It's a 618, and I've got a massive weekly level for you guys. So that could be a nice little trade that you can get involved in if you're interested. Give it some time to play out. Just be patient with it. But we can't ignore this level. This 370 level is big for me with everything that's going on down there. Okay, so stock traders, good luck out there. And don't forget, you can also trade You can trade indexes, you can trade oil, you can trade gold, and all these types of things using your crypto on Prime XBT. So if you're interested in that type of thing, you can send your crypto to Prime XBT. There's a link in the description currently for a 7% sign-up bonus that you can trade futures with and all these things on Prime XBT. So take advantage of that. Then you can send your funds to Prime XBT. You can trade crypto futures like I'm doing here now. You can see I'm in a 1.5 Bitcoin long at the moment from that little dip. and I'm in a Solana long at the moment. And then they have a global platform where you can start trading global markets, and you can start looking at the S&P, you can start looking at oil and gold and all these things. It's a nice little easy to use platform. And if you're bored, trading crypto, if you're bored doing something else, you could get stuck into both markets. They also have Forex. So take a look at Prime XBT. There is an exclusive offer here for you guys currently to take a look at. Okay, this is also great description of where we are mentally. So I'm just prepping you guys and I'm teeing you up. If you're wondering why I'm reading all these tweets, I'm just trying to explain to you what is going on there. There must be a lot of confusion, and also wondering why I'm wearing a McDonald's outfit as well in that tile. So we're going to get to that shortly. But this is just another great tweet from these guys. They're saying economic data weaker than expected. What do? We sell stocks. We're heading into a recession. Then we go, economic data comes out stronger than expected. What do? We sell stocks. Inflation is on the rise. Economic data is as expected. What do? Sell the stocks. Higher for longer is back. I mean, it's just mad. There's panic in the market, then there's dumping, then there's pumping. So if you are feeling confused, nothing to worry about. You are definitely not alone. Here's the S&P today. On this current news, we had jobs data also came out today, so they were really playing games. But you can see we gapped down on the S&P, so a little bit messy. Now they're trying to buy it up again, so we're going to see how that plays out. Long-term view on the S&P, I'm still looking at this 4,800, so nothing has really changed there. They can do whatever they want here, but that's going to look very similar to that Facebook chart, to that Meta chart for us if we start drifting down to this 4,800 level. So keep your eyes on that. And then the bears are out on Bitcoin. I'm going to get to my charts now shortly, but there's a lot of views coming out now on Twitter and X and all over the place, basically, with people trying to predict where this thing can go at the moment. Here's Poseidon, and he's one of the oldest accounts that I actually follow. And he's down. He's calling somewhere around 54K. That's an interesting level that he's given there. And then we've got, this is Pong. He's actually he's in the newsroom. He's one of our researchers, and he's given a nice little chart. So go follow him, go check what he's giving you. But he's basically giving you that the story about why we sell in May and go away. And he's showing you the history in the market of Bitcoin as to what generally happens in May. Is this a sign that things are going to slowly bleed out? Are we going to get little pumps along the way and then start melting down lower and things like that? Well, if we look at history, history tells us that that tends to happen in May. So as much as we get in denial about it, we have seen in the past that we do get these moves lower. So pay attention to that, guys. This is something we are watching very closely. Okay. Almost chart time. One more thing for you. Jeez, I got a lot of tweets today, Ray. I just wanted to bang you guys with so much information, but this is very interesting, okay? This is Philip Swift. He says he talked about Bitcoin funding rates looking a lot healthier in the most recent look in his Bitcoin newsletter. Okay, follow this guy. But basically what's happening here is funding rates are now negative. Okay, so they're actually paying you to open a long position. It's costing you money if you want to be in a short position. That is, it's technically quite bullish in that sense, that you're actually getting money now to start opening long positions. So they're desperately trying to get things going here for us. Okay, here's the McDonald's outfit. This is why I was saying we might end up at Mickey D's for a while. And this is my current view on Bitcoin. This is the daily chart that I'm looking at. And I've really been paying attention to this thing, trying to figure out what could their potential plan be here over the next couple of months. If things are going to melt down in May, things are getting quiet in May, and we're playing this game of a little bleed out, maybe we're going to get Uncle Run's 48,000 that he's been talking about. When we were already at 70K, he was talking about this $48,000 level. And now potentially this could be a reality that we are faced with. So let's just prep for that. Okay, again, I'm a short-term bearish here at the moment looking at this. And when I say short-term, maybe over the next couple of weeks, maybe over the next month or two, we could be short-term bearish. I'm mega bullish long term, so don't misunderestimate or misunderstand what I'm trying to say to you guys here. But we need to just make sure that we cover all bases and that we are prepared for all situations here. We cannot just be perma bulls in this situation. So what I've got here is a daily chart, and zooming out here and looking at this thing realistically after yesterday's dump, what we can see here is we've now got a confirmed downtrend in play. Okay, so what did we have in our way? We had the 50-day MA, we had horizontals in the way, we had a 618 as well in the way, telling us that this was a potential reaction zone, resistance zone. What happens? They fire some missiles and bang, the Bitcoin starts dumping. Okay, so number one view on the daily, if we're looking at this on the bigger picture, what could potentially happen here? So if we've got a confirmed downtrend, what tends to happen in a downtrend? Well, you get these bleed outs and you get these moves lower down. So we need to pay attention to any pumps and any dumps, and we need to start being very responsible here on taking profits at the right time. If we get a green day or we get a green 2 or 3 days, we cannot start getting bullish until we start breaking these downtrends. And as long as we keep in the back of our minds that this ultimate target here at around about this $50,000 level is now in play for us. And you can see this is a juicy little zone. Look at this here. We've got some nice candles here on the daily. I've got a 618 here, and I've got this 200-day moving average creeping up here slowly for us, telling us that we're coming up. Maybe it wants to just test a little wick before we launch. Okay, so that is what I'm currently thinking about. And then, you know, there is something around the corner. There's something 5 or 6 days away. We've got the Hong Kong BTC and ETH ETF. Okay, and would you really think that these guys are going to launch this ETF with Bitcoin's price pumping and moving higher? So, you know, my thinking behind this is they'd like to grab these things as low as possible and as cheaply as possible. So to me, look, I'm not saying we're going to see 50K or 52K in a couple of days, but, you know, it is a possibility that they'd want to send the price lower before this thing opens up. So let's just be aware of that ETF launch or ETF opening coming next week. It's going to be early next week. So that could be an opportunity that's going to ultimately give us a bounce that we can play into. But what do we do before that? Are we going to bleed out into that? Are we going to bleed out leading into that ETF opening? So just pay attention to that. Keep your eyes on the news, keep your eyes on the charts, and keep your eyes on the levels. We can't deny that this is in front of us right here, that we are potentially now in a downtrend. So remember, until we start breaking these trends and turning super bullish, then we can start changing our view. We can start changing our game plan. But there's a lot of resistance ahead. And if we start breaking trends, we need to start looking at horizontals that we want to start popping and all these things. And then ultimately, there's a lot of guys out there saying, well, you know, we're actually just trading in a range for the next couple of weeks. And, you know, this is going to be the nature of the game. And if we are doing that, well, I mean, then we're really just watching some big horizontal zones. We're going to watch these areas, and we need to be aware. You know, if we pump into these big zones, we need to be responsible. Take your profits, not longing at big support. I mean, not longing into massive resistance zones, and just being aware that the ultimate plan for them might be to send us down first before they pump us. Ray, what is your big liquidity level that you were looking at down there? Was it sub 50?
I think we'll hit 57K and stop everybody out, so the market makers and the institutions can pack up their bags. I think 52 is too obvious. Everybody will just 100x long 52, which will take us back to 49.
We're gonna 100x long. So this is what I love about these things. They love to send it down onto like the 618, the horizontal. Then they love to give you a little fake out down into that area and grab those stops just to scare you. And that's why I was saying here, a little wick onto this 200-day MA. Just remember this, okay? Remember this if there's a meltdown. Look for a little wick onto this 200-day moving average. If they are pushing this thing higher, we know this thing loves to be kissed every now and again. So look out for this 200-day MA. If they want to come for it, they're going to come and they're just going to touch it and send this higher. Okay, how's my people in the chats here? I love this Nico comment here. Did you see this?
Right now.
Hey?
Bitcoin's trying to pump right now.
Well, that is good news. So Nico says Hong Kong is coming for your Bitcoin. Let's see my current scalp here. Let's see how we're going. So yesterday I got stopped out on Doge. Yesterday I got stopped out on Bitcoin as well. I got stopped out on Fetch. It was a messy day. Okay, but here we go. Okay, so we're finally making some of those stop losses back now. Okay, so this is moving nicely. So you know what I'm going to do now is on Prime XBT, you can actually just you can put your stops in and you can drag them around. So you can see now my Sol is taken off. So I don't want to now play a game where I'm at a loss with Sol. So now that it started moving, this is just a scalp play. I'm going to put in a stop here, just under my entry here. So I'm going to go stop. Okay, I'm going to put in the amount. What is my amount? 100. And I'm going to put a stop in at 143.9. Okay, so let's just make sure that's a sell order. Okay, stop. Okay, there we go. So I've put a stop here just under, and then what you can do on Prime XBT, you can just drag this thing up and down. So I'm just going to push this just under that candle there, and now I'm risk-free on this, well, relatively risk-free on this current Solana trade. Let's see, a Bitcoin, and there's my current stop. Okay, I'm 1.5 Bitcoin long, but let's move this stop higher now. I want to just de-risk a little bit and make sure that they don't come for me again a second time. I don't like getting stopped out that much. It's very annoying. And okay, so let's just make sure that that is sitting in that region over there. Okay, cool. So that is ticking on. Okay, that's where we are with Bitcoin at the moment. And what is the plan now? If you look at this current chart, you can see we are pumping and it's pushing higher. But now remember, we've got a trend in the way. We've got resistance in the way. You need to be disciplined. So for me, that is a scalp play that I'm in at the moment. I'm not intending to hold that any longer. If we push higher, I'm going to TP. If we start breaking trends, we start breaking horizontals, that's a different story. We look for those support buys. We can look for those retests. But we don't want to be in a situation again where we're pushing into a rejection zone and, not taking profits, and then they round trip you like they did with Fetch yesterday. Look at this, what they did to us yesterday. I mean, this was absolutely messy. They gave us this pump. So let's not get caught in a situation like that again. What you want to do, you want to be selling any strength now into resistance areas. So we're going to get back to this Fetch chart shortly. We're going to cover that because I'm also going to show you my Fetch trade, my makeup Fetch trade shortly. Okay, another big one I've been looking at here for dominance, guys. I've been watching this all day. This is dominance now on the 4 hour, and this has been really helpful for me to try and gauge things today. And I've been dropping it in Sniper Club occasionally throughout the day. I've been dropping this dominance chart, just updating the Sniper Club members in there as to what we're looking at, and it's actually really reacting nicely. We looked at these levels on dominance yesterday, and we saw we had this nice dip yesterday when the markets were nice and green. The altcoins were pumping. Then they started firing missiles, and what happened? It pumped up, and the altcoins got rinsed. We got stopped out. We got slapped around, and it was absolutely messy. And then today we noticed Bitcoin started falling over, but dominance started coming down with it really nicely. And what does that mean? When dominance starts dropping while Bitcoin is dropping, these alts tend to hold their areas that they are sitting in a lot easier and a lot better. You see them just floating around these zones, and this for me is often an indication that we're going to get some kind of move or some kind of bounce out of the altcoins when you see that scenario happening. So now we've seen this. Now you've seen this little pop here on these altcoins. We're getting a little move at the moment, but again, this is now the perfect time for you to be aware of where we are with dominance. So dominance is now moving back into a potential bounce zone. And what does that tell us? That tells us that BTC might be favored once dominance hits this level. So what does that mean? If BTC starts rejecting or slowing down and dominance starts bouncing, then these alts is going to start getting hurt again. So just be aware that you want to start TPing when dominance starts hitting a support region for a potential bounce. So just watch this carefully. Keep this as part of your trading plan. When you are trading these altcoins, always keep an eye on the dominance and what it's doing at the moment. But look, it is nice to see that dominance is currently in a downtrend. So maybe we can get something along these lines. Let's see how this plays out at the moment. We can watch this one carefully. And remember, danger. If dominance starts bouncing and starts pumping and breaking trends, that is danger again for these altcoins. So keep this chart close to you. Keep it as part of your trading plan while you are going. Sure, I'm talking a lot today. Okay, who's in the chats? I see JMO's here. He's a big Sniper Club member, and I see he's been posting some great things in Sniper Club. He's been killing it in there for the community. So JMO, shout out to you, bro. You're doing very well in there. Let's see. Nicholas says, "Dump it, Dylan, for Sparta." Let's see what else we got. Panos says, "Alpha Talk." What else? What do we got? Tatiana says, "Hammy." She likes that hamster. Are we still trading meme coins? You won't believe. You actually won't believe the meme coin I saw today. And I'm not even going to tell you. Okay, let's see. Luba says, "I'm long big time." Okay, Luba's long and strong. She's our resident bear, though. She was a very good shorter. So I'd like to see you, Luba. We'll catch up in the Sniper Club. I'll see what you are exactly longing at the moment. Okay. Tatiana really wants this hammy. Guys, it's Friday tomorrow. Don't forget, on Friday, I can loosen things up a bit and we can cover some memes and stuff. So you know what you can do? Okay, this is actually great. In the description, in the comments now, after the show, okay? So when the show's done, go to the comments, drop the coins you want, drop hammy in there, drop whatever you want me to chart. I'm going to take 5 or 6 of them. I'm going to chart them for you guys, and then I'll bring them on the show tomorrow. Okay, so go into the comments after the show, tell me what you want, and let me help you then with these charts. Okay, lots of hammy talk. Okay, we'll deal with it. We had that 𝗬𝗨𝗥𝗟𝗗 on my show, and I think he was a big fan of hammy. Okay, let's go. This was great. Okay, now I don't want to harp on about ETH today because it's it's irritating. You saw that picture yesterday with the ETH bro. But Justin's son, okay, he's bought another 21,500 ETH. Does he know something that we don't? Is he a smarter investor? I don't know, but he's got a shit ton of money and he's buying a shit ton of ETH. So let's pay attention to what this man is doing. If the man's buying $500 million worth of Ethereum, shouldn't you have a little bit in your bag just in case something is happening? Ray, I don't know. Do you have a little bit of ETH? I'm still holding an ETH long, bro. I haven't exited that thing. I'm holding that thing strong. So yeah, you got ETH, bro.
Of course, you must.
Got ETH. Justin's son's got $500 million. How can you not have ETH if Justin's son's got $500 million of ETH? And did you see his average buy price? Look at this. His average buy price was 3,172. That's higher than mine. It's a slightly bigger position than mine. We'll give him that. But, his average buy is 3,170. So, if somebody's buying the top, maybe that was that. But let's see. Okay, so ETH just on the weekly. Let's not harp on too long about it. Justin Sun's bought ETH. That's bullish for me. We know that, if someone's dropping $500 million into ETH, then something is going to be happening there. No changes for me on ETH. I'm not exiting my ETH long unless they carry me out on a stretcher like they did with Solana that I swore I was never going to exit, and they took me out on a stretcher. So ETH, for me, 2,800 massive level for me for ETH. You dip into that 2.8, that's a buy zone, and we'll just pay attention. We'll play that accordingly, and we're going to watch BTC. If they're going to bleed us to 52K, there's a very good chance things like ETH are going to be struggling, and I will get that stretcher, and we'll just have to deal with it as it comes. But right now, Justin's son buying $500 million of ETH, maybe some ETH ETF news coming. Let's see. Okay, and this was a great tweet for those of you who are confused trading altcoins at the moment, and it has been incredibly tricky, like that pump yesterday on these tokens, and they just absolutely wrecked us. And I just like this from Rose Premium account, their tweet account. They said, if you want to earn in this season, you have to look for one of them is not like the other altcoins. And they basically saying the whole market has turned into boring mode, and many retailers might leave the market. Okay, that's that's not great. They leave from boredom, they leave from getting chopped up in the market, and this is what the market does. It's designed to frustrate you and do these things to you. So just understand the mission here and understand where we are going, but pay attention to Bitcoin. If Bitcoin's going to bleed to these 50K levels, then there's nothing we're going to be able to do about it. We're going to have to watch these alts, watch these levels. We're going to TP at the very good areas. We're going to look for shorts at the right time as well, but that's all we can do. We're going to be looking for smaller moves and all these things. Okay, another one, Nick U says, what the fuck is really feels like September 23. The market is boring AF. Every pump is being sold instantly. Everyone is fighting each other on crypto Twitter. Okay, and that is really the deal that is going on out there. So what you're doing here, so let me give you an example. This is Fetch that I'm now trading at the moment. I'm trading Fetch today on WEEX after getting stopped out and slapped yesterday. I'm in the game again here. So here's my Fetch trade here at the bottom on WEEX at the moment. So it's moving, it's grinding up slowly. So maybe we're going to get something out of this, but I'm going to show you guys the TP, and I'm going to show you where I'm taking profit. I'm not messing around here. I'm going to pay for that stop loss by riding this trade into resistance, and I'm going to take profit in this area. So you can see what's happened here. Fetch has dipped down into a nice little zone, 382 and trend coming into play here. Now we got a little bounce, and where is my first take profit zone? Where do I exit this position? Where do I look for a little reaction there? And it's got to be, for me, Fetch is going to be 2.4. So that is a TP zone that I'm looking at closely now, because we know it's a big resistance area, and we don't want to deal with a situation where we start trying to hold on too long when things are potentially a little bit bearish. So if you are trading Fetch, what we're looking at here, support 2.2, resistance zone coming in here 2.4, look out at 2.4. If it does pop through that, you're looking a little bit higher. Your next level is 2.51. So watch that area there, and that's how we're going to play it. That's big resistance there, and we're going to look for short little moves and play this accordingly. And then there might actually be a short brewing once we push into these type of zones. And number one, you can see here's a nice little juicy one up here that could offer us something. Okay, so that is the game I'm going to be playing now on some of these tokens. Here's another one for you, Ocean, and this was a great example of an altcoin drifting into a nice solid support level while dominance was dropping. You know, we had that BTC pulling down, and we had dominance dropping, and we had these alts sitting on big supports, and they really started holding their areas nicely. So Ocean is now starting to push a little bit higher. Is this now the bottom of a move? Well, potentially, but we need to be aware that these things can turn over so quickly. And, you know, they can treat us the exact same way they did yesterday. So what you want to do, and you want to mark it on your charts, whatever you are trading at the moment, you want to identify your nearest resistance zones. You want to identify these areas where you can de-risk very quickly on some of these tokens if you are sitting in them. So number one for me, for Ocean, you can see why this was a nice little potential mover. But number one here for Ocean, 0.99, that's going to be a resistance zone for you that you need to pay attention to. And then 1.05, that's another area that you need to be taking profit. You need to be raising stops and looking for exits, because these guys could easily just come and do this immediately when we hit these type of areas. So now we really got to be disciplined here with profit. We really got to be disciplined with stop losses and all these things if we are trying to scalp these little moves. Okay, I've got a setup or two for you guys that is interesting for you. This is one you might need to wait for. Okay, but I think ultimately we're going to get a setup like this. This is the TON network on the 8 hour. Okay, and there's multiple reasons why I think this could be a nice little trade brewing here for you guys over the next couple of weeks. Let's see. I mean, it could be in the next couple of days. Let's see. But what I've got here for TON at the moment is a nice little entry zone that I'm looking at. 4.9. This region for me looks like a hot zone, and I'm going to tell you multiple reasons why I think this is a good area for us to get some kind of long here on TON. We know how bullish the market is on TON. We know all the things that they are doing at the moment. And, you know, it's good to get a little bit of a reset here. But the first thing I noticed on TON for me is these order blocks here. I still use 𝗏𝗏𝗏 as a guide. Here's some order blocks floating down here for me on TON network. So we know that that's a juicy area, tied in with horizontals. I've also got a 618 fib here. I've also got a 50-day moving average. Then on top of that, I've got the clouds from 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏. I know those of you that have been watching the show for the last 6 months or whatever, you know that we use these 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 clouds sometimes as well as a little guide for us. And you can see what's happened here. We've printed our first, we printed our short on the TON network. It gave us the short print, and now it's printed the X. It's telling us that this move is potentially starting to slow down on TON. And that's always a good sign when you see your first X. Ideally, we want to see a second X. So I'm looking for some kind of move into this region, and then a little X print here on 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 in that zone. And that would tie in nicely to this existing cloud. And then we're looking for a nice little move up to that trend. So there's a nice little trade happening here, or nice setup brewing here for you guys. If you have the patience, what you need to do is just set this up on your charts at home. Maybe set your alarm, your TradingView alarm. You can set it at the entry, so you can click the plus sign on TradingView on the right hand side, and you can add alert. So when it does move into that area, it's going to ping you, and then that can be an area you could start looking for longs and maybe look for the bounce in that region. So there's multiple reasons why this thing can bounce. And there was actually one more, Easy Algo. Okay, look at this. These red lines that you see here on Easy Algo, this is the top of our monthly pivot. So these three red lines is the monthly pivot on Easy Algo, and the top of the monthly pivot is also sitting on this horizontal area. So there's about 6 levels of confluence here for TON at this 4.9 to 5 region as to why we think we'll get some kind of bounce there. So that is why I'm bullish on an entry there in those levels, or at those levels. And so mark those on your charts. That could be a nice banger for you that you can that could play out in the next couple of days. Sure, I've been talking non-stop. How's everybody? How's everyone? Is everyone okay? Are we going to 52? What are we doing? What's the plan? Okay, let's see. There's lots of GUMMY guys. Yeah, guys, there's a second GUMMY airdrop coming as well for you. So you just follow the steps. The secret is in the link in the show description. So go under the show. Okay, the secret is all here. It's all here. All the information. Prime XBT that you saw me trading on is there. WEEX that you saw me trading on. Don't forget, WEEX has got a 20% sign-up bonus, and they know KYC exchange. Okay, they're really trying to incentivize you to trade on the exchange. I had another meeting with them today. They've got massive plans. There's an upgrade to the app coming. There's some massive things brewing in WEEX at the moment, including a token that is coming out. They're doing an airdrop of their token. So if you're on WEEX and you're trading on WEEX, they know you there, and you're gonna qualify to take advantage of their token airdrops and those type of things that are coming onto that platform within the next month or so. So take advantage. This offer is not going to be around for too long. When they get more and more users on their platform, they're going to stop obviously being this generous with these type of offers. So take a look at WEEX. Here's the link. It's an exclusive link for you guys, and with up to 20% sign up bonus there for you. Then don't forget, gummy farmers. We've seen you all over the internet, what you guys are doing and how you guys are farming it. It's actually unreal what some of you guys are doing with multiple accounts and all these things. It's mad. And you know, there's another way to farm gummy, and you just need to be on one of these exchanges here, one of these links here in the exchanges. You can then get your gummy airdrop that they're going to airdrop to you in your account there. So take a look in the show description, and then Easy Algo. It's all here. Sniper Club's in here. Easy Algo. If you like Easy Algo, there's the link in the description as well. And when Seth is ready, he's going to give us some more banging setups on Easy Algo that I'm going to bring for you guys as well. But we use that as part of our trading strategy all the time. Okay, here's another one for you guys, another little setup that I like at the moment. This is AVAX. Okay, and I think for me, we just need to be a little bit more patient. You can see what's going on here. AVAX on the 8 hour, you can see we're in a very clear downtrend here, so nothing too fancy, nothing to get too excited about. And for me, you know, if I look at this current chart, fine, I'm in a couple of scalps. I'm scalping Solana, we're scalping Fetch here that you guys can see. And you know, for me, AVAX, the next big one for me, AVAX, is going to be a touch on this 200-day moving average. It's going to be a touch on the 618 fib. That could be a nice little scalp there for AVAX, and we're not going to get too worked up. We're not going to get too excited, okay, until we start breaking big levels. So AVAX, let's say we get a pump in the market now and we get some kind of rejection and it starts coming lower. For me, there's a little scalp here. There's a little move here for you guys on AVAX. If you're looking for a trade, 33 is going to be your area. Mark this one on your chart the same way you've marked it now on TON. Just set your alarm. There's a nice little setup brewing here for AVAX. So I would say look for a dip into the 618, into the 200-day MA, and that should give you some kind of scalp long, and potentially this little range is going to come into play then. So potentially you could be seeing something along these lines before they send us to zero later on, or before they send us to back to McDonald's. Or whatever their plan is there. Okay, so there's just play these little solid zones, play these little areas, and there's still going to be moves. There's still going to be action. It's just not going to be as much fun. We're not going to have those like 20-30% moves potentially for a while. So let's just pay attention and make sure we are taking profits. Don't be in a situation where you're round tripping like I did yesterday. Very frustrating. Okay, let's go. I've got Solana. So here's Sol at the moment. So Sol. Also, similar plan here to Sol and AVAX. You can also watch these levels on Sol. So no real changes here. If you look at the bigger picture, you know, you can scalp all day. If you're scalping 15 minutes and 5-minute candles and those things, you can scalp all day. But the best plan is zoom out, look at the bigger picture. Where's my high impact zones? Where am I going to get the big moves? And look at me. Just really look at me here. Look at Solana here. 140 for me. You can see I've set my alarm in this region. So there's a 140 alarm here for me for Sol. That could give a little bounce there, and then a little bit lower. That's exactly the same as AVAX. I've marked it here for you. These charts actually going to look very similar. If it does get to that region, look out here for Solana, 128, 129, looking for a bounce there. And both of these are nice little scalper zones that you guys can start playing around it. Okay. What else? Let's see. Jodo says, Zhao says, is AVAX still alive? AVAX is still alive, bro. AVAX is still alive. AVAX is going to hold this 200-day MA. Well, I hope it holds the 200-day MA. We should get a reaction there on AVAX. Let's see. Let's see. Soljo says Phantom is breaking a big area. Okay, I do have a Phantom set up for you guys. I've got a couple more that I wanted to share with you. Another one, interesting one, is this NEO. Okay, so a potential Chinese token. And I actually forgot to show you guys the setup yesterday. I was talking about it as a potential, this Hong Kong ETF could be a catalyst for some of these Chinese tokens. So it's something to take note of. We know on the 30th of April, we've got that ETF goes live. Maybe there's going to be, some extra stuff happening with some of the altcoins out of the excitement. Who knows? And, what we can do is play levels. So this NEO, why it was interesting to me was I saw multiple resets on the stochastic RSIs here at the bottom. Look at this. 8 hours reset. We've got our 4-hour reset. We've got our 12-hour resetting. And we've got our daily reset at the bottom. So NEO was actually looking better than a lot of the altcoins. A lot of the altcoins, we only saw a 4-hour stochastic reset. But the 12-hour, 8-hour daily, they all at the top. They're all telling us that they want to come down. NEO seems to be a bit of an outlier here. And these things are starting to reset now at the bottom. Are they gearing up for a move next week? Maybe. And, so just play it accordingly and just watch these levels. So this could be an interesting zone for you, NEO. If you want to be nibbling, look at around 17, down to about 16.5, anywhere in this region for NEO. There could be something brewing here if they dip you lower into that zone. So 17 to about 16.5. There could be a potential bounce here, a potential trade coming here for NEO. How long will that take? Well, we'll have to wait and see when they come there. But watch these levels. It could give you a little reaction in that zone. Okay, and while we're talking about bleed outs, it's obviously prudent when we're having bleed outs. We mustn't lose focus here, and we mustn't panic. We must always have a plan. Like if the market falls over, what am I buying? What am I looking at? What small caps am I grabbing if things fall over? What big caps am I grabbing if things fall over? And Crypto Rodo, Rodolfo Pozo A, you can follow him on Twitter. He helps us with some of our research here. He's in the Banter newsroom as well, and he's doing an amazing job out there. And he's dropped, what does he say? He's dropped my 5 mid to large caps that he accumulates when there is blood in the streets, okay? And, he's dropped some interesting tokens here. 𝗣𝗘𝗫, that's an interesting one. That's quite a small cap. CAS, you guys all know what CAS is. Creo, he seems to like Creo gaming project. I think, I think that was like, I think he was calling that a Nakamoto Games potentially, or competitor. Ondo Finance, you guys know RWAs, BlackRock are involved, those type of things. And then a meme coin. If you're grabbing memes, he likes WOOF. So take a look at Rodolfo, give him a follow. Yes, who was in the chat saying Phantom is going to break a wedge? Soul Joe. Okay, so this is what I've got for you guys. So again, we had so many fake outs yesterday, and they played a lot of games with us yesterday, in the market. And Phantom, I just thought, let's look at Phantom. We know that Phantom has had a lot of strength lately. Phantom 2.0, or what are they calling it, with Sonic. And, Phantom has, to be fair, it seemed to have held relatively well compared to some of the other altcoins. Some of the other alts have struggled a little bit. So Phantom is doing all right at the moment, the new version. And if there's a short-term trade available, well, there's a couple of things you want to be looking at. And number one is, firstly, the break of this potential flag. So you can see Soul Joe actually called this one now. And look out for the break of this potential flag. You're going to need a bit of a stronger move here. I would say you want something along those lines if you're going to play that. So pay attention to this potential break right now, and then lower down. If we do get this push lower down, you can see what's going on here. We've got a little bit of a flag here into this region. So Phantom around about 0.7 could be a nice little scalp play for you. It could be a little bounce into a little resistance area there. So watch that. Just something of interest for me. So, I'm looking for scalps now in the next couple of days. We're going to see where we get to with this current Phantom position. But I quite like it here at 0.7. Nice little area. If it does start blowing this flag, well, then you can jump on and ride the momentum and see how it goes. Okay, so that is the plan for Phantom. Ray, did I do everything, bro?
I think you overdid it. But they didn't smash the likes. They didn't overdo the likes. So,
guys, come on. Smash the likes. Okay, I've just smashed so many levels for you. I've given you multiple plans here. If you like the content, hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe. Do all these things. And let's see how the market plays out. So potential scalps on the table now. And tomorrow is another day. Watch your resistance zone. Watch your support. You've got the plan. And tomorrow, we'll take it a bit easier tomorrow. We'll look at some memes. We'll joke around a bit. And we'll see how we go. Okay, guys, see you tomorrow.